watching the Urban Debate. I'm Faye. Thank you for joining us. We've had a chance now to look at the nomination papers of all of the candidates who have filed their nomination for the elections in Karnataka. So we know now for sure how many of them have criminal cases against them. And the number is not heartening. Let me take a look at the numbers with you right now. Out of a total 2,560 candidates, 15% have criminal cases against them, 10% have serious cases against them. 83 of those with criminal cases are from the BJP, 59 from the Congress and 41 from the JDS. Netas with criminal cases, serious criminal cases against them. Remember, these serious criminal cases are of the nature of attempt to murder or murder and other such serious crimes. 58 from the BJP, 32 from the Congress and 29 from the JDS out of a total of 224. There are also 25 with attempts to murder against them, 4 candidates with murder against their names, and those, of course, obviously charged with crimes against women, 23 candidates with crimes against women. But here are the interesting details of Karodpatis. Of the 224 candidates fielded by the BJP, 93% of them are Karodpatis. From the Congress, 94% of their candidates are Karodpatis. So 207 out of 220. And the JDS, the number is slightly smaller, 77.3%. There seems to be a recipe here. You have to be very rich to begin with in order to contest these elections. Is the entire system of this election flawed? Why is it that the powerful, the rich, and what seems like those who lean towards a criminal side are the ones who have got tickets for winnability? Joining me on the show today, Dr. R. Balasubramaniam, the state coordinator of ADR on the Karnataka Election Watch, Brinda Adige, women's rights activist. A. Ahmed is an advocate and the spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress. Mr. K.K. Manan is the advocate with the Delhi High Court. B.S. Yashas is the spokesperson for the Karnataka BJP, and Rifat Javed is a journalist and the founder of Janata Ka Reporter. I welcome all of you to this conversation. I'm going to start with our guest from ADR who's given us all of this information and this research, Dr. Balasubramaniam. Obviously, this is about winnability, but when you went through the statistics, was there any part of it that surprised you, or were you already expecting this?
Actually, it wasn't very surprising, because if you see the trend of the last 15 years, it's been playing out very similar to this. But at least we thought post-2014 parliament elections and the narrative of clean politics that everybody spoke and the AAP movement that had come into the country, we thought at least that will have some impact. But I'm actually sorry to say that even parties like the AAP has got given tickets to candidates with criminal backgrounds. So it doesn't really, I think it's all, it's following the trend that has been seen for the last 2 decades now. It's only getting worse. So the single most important factor seems to be winnability, driven by caste compulsions, winnability driven by the amount of money you're willing to spend on the elections in subverting the process, and maybe lineage and dynasty. So it's very evident that the same narrative is again unfolding back in Karnataka in these elections too.
Well, we've heard buzz, from various candidates in Karnataka, those of us who are traveling across the state at least, we've had candidates tell us that they didn't get tickets because they didn't have the money to fight. Now, from what we understand, it's costing about 2.5 to 3 crore rupees per candidate out of their own pockets to contest these elections. Is that, in your opinion, Dr. Balasubramaniam, a deciding factor on whether or not someone gets a ticket?
I think it is. It's a very harsh reality. I actually come from Mysore, and you know how Mysore is now the hotbed of Karnataka's elections. And I think 2.5 to 3 crores is a very conservative estimate. The way the kind of things that are happening on the field, the way the money is being spent, the way every party is trying to outdo the other in terms of buying electoral support from the voters. I think 2.5 to 3 crores is a very, very conservative estimate. And many times we hear many candidates actually have in private told me that the whole battle began not just with what ideology they held on to, but what they were willing to even give the party to even get the B form. So it sort of starts from there and then it goes straight downwards.
And I want to bring in Rifat Javed as well, as a journalist traveling across the state of Karnataka right now. Rifat, have you also found that the amount of money being spent on these elections, and the reason, viewers, why I'm bringing this up is because if you need a lot of money, there are only a certain type of people who can bring in this unlimited supply of funds. And those are people with criminal cases against them. So, Rifat, what have you picked up on what it costs right now to fight the Karnataka elections as a candidate?
Okay, sir. I've been here only for a little over 24 hours, and my understanding is, I'm a bit surprised here, and a bit surprised purely because I'm just drawing a parallel, with my coverage of, let's say, Uttar Pradesh or, other North Indian states. And we have this perception that South Indian states are relatively more educated. So therefore, the voters are much more, judicious enough, to kind of take the decision whilst electing their Netas. Now, having said that, the number of people that I spoke to, I was, quite perplexed, in fact very, very shocked that even the educated lords, it did not matter to them who they were electing. Most of the people I spoke to, they appeared to be voting, or that's what they said, they are going to vote for the party that those netas have been fielded from. So clearly, the individual integrity or their criminal past or the lack of the criminal past, or the governance or their pedigree of kind of delivering goods, takes a back seat. So therefore, it becomes a mockery of the democracy that, at the end of the day, regardless of what you do, whether you have a criminal past or whether you have a clean past, it doesn't matter. Is the parties also, the way they have fielded. Why do you think the BJP and the Congress have fielded so many individuals, with tainted past? It's purely because they know that these are the individuals who have money, and you need money. You have to see the amount of money that's being spent on, like carrying out the social media campaign. And when I say social media campaign, it's not Twitter or Facebook. The silent campaign that is being carried out, which I'm privy to on WhatsApp. The individual freebies are being given, to lure the voters. And those things, need money. And these people with the tainted past are the people who have those money. So clearly it suits the political parties, to field those candidates. But at the end of the day, the voters have to decide, do they really want these kind of people to represent them? And what does this say about the democracy in a relatively more educated state like Karnataka?
Well, that's true. And I want to bring in also at this point Brinda Adige, who's a women's rights activist. Brinda, 23 candidates with declared cases of crime against women. Surprisingly, a lot of them are independent candidates, but there are a few from the political parties, from the Indian National Congress and the BJP. What's your reaction to that? That this sort of cases still don't keep these people out?
Like the other panelists pointed out, Faye, we are looking at an increasingly very, very bad trend. And I think this is something that we are not able to handle as citizens. He talks about literate, educated citizens who are also getting into all these freebies. But let's be very, very clear that these are all contestants who somebody also mentioned that 2-3 lakhs. Sorry, it is going up to 8 to 10 lakhs. That crores. That is the kind of money that you're talking about. And that is why when you're looking at all of these candidates having cases against them, and many of them cases of violence against women, we wonder whether we should even go and exercise our franchise. So this number that is wondering is also a large number. So do you think we should all put for nota, because that again backfires on the citizens? So the largest democracy today is on the brink of, should we say, anarchy? Because like you pointed out, independent candidates, yes, but who are supporting these independent candidates? How is it that even these independent candidates require 8 to 10 crore rupees to campaign and stand for elections and then actually think that they are going to win that election? So there is a lot of tacit support from other parties for these independent candidates. What is worrisome, what is scary is these are people who are going to be our elected representatives, who are going to sit and make laws for children, for women, for elderly, and that too on safety and protection. All of them have cases against them. What is the confidence,
Well,
what is the trust we should have on these people to vote them into power?
I just want to point out here, and some of these things are really amusing. There is a party contesting the elections in Karnataka called the All India Mahila Empowerment Party that has one Neta called Raja Nayak who has a case against him for crime against women. And he's been given a ticket from a party called the All India Mahila Empowerment Party. It is ridiculous. I want to bring in here our politicians also. Mr. Ahmed of the Congress. Why is it the Congress has these many people that you have fielded with cases against them? Does Karnataka have a lack of candidates who without cases? Or is it just a recipe for winning that you have to have money and you have to have a criminal bent of mind?
I am not able to hear you properly. I am not getting the voice, clear voice about your questions, please.
All right, we'll come back to you and we'll try to fix that. Mr. Yashas of the BJP. The BJP has the highest rates, unfortunately, of people with criminal cases against them. 37% of the total against who have criminal cases. 25% of your candidates have serious criminal cases. Why is that? All right, we seem to be having a problem with the audio there in Bangalore. Mr. Menon, I'm going to go to Mr. KK Menon over there, who is... Do we have Mr. Menon? Mr. Menon, can you hear me? Let me just check with Mr. Menon if he can hear me. Mr. Menon, why is there an increased criminality in our politics?
It's very unfortunate for the nation, for the society. You see that the good people are unable to adjust themselves in the parties, whether it is the BJP, Congress or regional parties. You will find, okay, in Bihar or UP, lot of people who are being given tickets, only they are gundas, they are mafias, they are big property dealers, they are builders, they are, you see that, involved in number of, not only in a serious, what to talk about serious, they are involved in a murder case, they are involved in a kidnapping cases, they are involved in a rape cases, and not only this, you will find a smuggling as well. If we will elect those people, why we will elect those people? Because people used to give the votes usually for the party. Now let us see how the parties are distributing the tickets, whether it is the Congress, BJP or any regional parties. They always give the ticket to a person who can win the election. Now the question is a majority. They want majority in the Lok Sabha or a Rajya Sabha, in the Vidhan Sabha. Now the question is, if who is responsible for this? We people, again I am asking myself today, that we are going to elect the people. We can elect independent person if he is having a clean antecedents, having vision, he can think about the society, he can deliver to the society, but we will not vote for them. We will also vote for them, the people who can win the election, whether he is a criminal, not a criminal, because we have to vote for the party. Wherever, now you see that Bharatiya Janata Party or the Congress or in JDS in Karnataka, just I was listening you, 83 people from BJP, 59 people from Congress, 49 people from JDS. If they are having criminal track record, what the people will expect from them tomorrow if they will be elected and go in the Vidhan Sabha, then they will make the law for us. Who already broken the law, they will make the law for us. Now you can see what type of answer the society will have from them. It's unfortunate for the nation. Judiciary is doing, to the extent they are passing the judgments, Honorable Supreme Court passed the judgment and conviction, that convicted person cannot contest the election.
I understand now, I understand. Mr. Manan, I understand B.S. Yashas also can hear us right now off the Karnataka BJP. Mr. Yashas, can you explain to us why 37% of the candidates fielded by the BJP have criminal cases against them. Is that a formula for winning?
No. See, in a political system, let me clarify. Due to rivalry, they will file cases against the candidates, and there will be a political vendetta. There will be a conspiracy against people in the politics. So these cases are it is subjective, and we should think in a subjective and an objective, and on what basis.
So then what you're saying, what you're saying, hang on, what you're saying is the 59 Congress candidates, those are also subjective and they have also political vendetta.
No, I'm not saying like that, but the court of law is there.
So political vendetta applies for your candidates but doesn't apply for the Congress candidates.
No. There are various cases. Like there will be a communal cases, there will be a rioting cases, there will be other cases. I'm telling you, I'm asking on which the IPC section are the cases are.
All right, let's do this. Very good. Let's do this. You know, incidentally, I have the details. I'm glad you asked, Mr. Yashas. I have the details. Shall we go over them one by one? Shall we talk about the cases specifically? You have answers for all the cases, right?
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about Mr. G. Somasekara Reddy, who's been charged with bribing a judge to get his brother G. Janardana Reddy out of jail. Of course, the Reddy brothers are famous for the fact that there used to be massive hills of iron ore in Bellary that they don't exist anymore because they all were shipped illegally to China. Now, the Reddy brothers, Mr. Somasekara Reddy has been given a ticket by your party. Can you tell us why? Couldn't find anybody else? Or is it that he just had so much money that it was difficult to ignore?
The case is still pending in the court of law, and the case is not convicted. He is still an accused, and let the case be. The proceedings are going on, and I am not going to comment upon it.
All right. So if this is going to be your answer for all the questions, then you're totally going to waste our time. But I'll ask the question anyway. Mr. Baramagowda Karge of the BJP,
No.
one charge related to assault and use of criminal force against a woman with the intent of outraging her modesty. What is your answer to that case?
See, we do not accept such incident. But again, again I am telling the case, the police investigation is going on, and also the police will be filing a charge sheet before the court of law, and the court of law will decide.
Mr. Muniraju Gowda with the BJP, two serious IPC charges, one charge related to the assault and the use of criminal force against a woman, one charge with the intent of outraging her modesty, IPC section 354. What's your answer to that? Why does Muniraju Gowda have a ticket from your party?
I'm telling you, the police investigation is going on, and once he is convicted, the party will take its own course of action, and party will take the strict action once it is convicted.
Party will do
and
it?
still he is an accused, and let the proceedings go on.
Mr. Manan, go ahead.
Hello.
Mr. Manan was asking you a question. Mr. Manan, go ahead.
I say whatever he is telling, that is not the truth. First, party has to see the antecedents of a person. If he will be convicted tomorrow, the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court is there to take care of that. Then he will be disqualified. What is the contribution of the party or this gentleman? Whatever he is making a statement, it is not correct statement, because they are under compulsion to make such type of statements. They are not bound to tell the truth to the nation. We want a truth from their mouth. Why they have given the ticket to such type of people? Crores of people are there. Crores of workers of parties are there. Whether it is Congress, BJP or any.
Well, let me ask you other questions.
When the truth will come? When you know
Mr. Krishnaya Shetty of the BJP.
Investigation, the truth will be coming out.
Yes.
Like in the previous cases, I want to specify.
One second. Mr. Krishnaya Shetty of the BJP will contest from Mallur. Now, he was Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa's cellmate in jail. They were in jail together. They were companions. Is that where they built a friendship? Is that why he has got a ticket? Because they
See,
became friends when they were in jail in 2011. Katta
See,
Subramaniam
V.S.
Naidu, been given a ticket from
case,
Shivajinagara
the
constituency, went to jail on the charges of land fraud involving his firm in 2011. So is this where we are scouting for candidates now, inside of jail? That's the recruitment process?
See, the court has clearly said, upon the Yediyurappa ji's cases that he was a political scapegoat of political vengeance, and also he was into a political vendetta. So the court and the CBI special court and even the High Court of Karnataka has quashed more than 20 cases on B.S. Yediyurappa ji also, and these cases also, if there is truth, it will be proved, and if it is false, it will be the court will take its own actions, and we'll, as I said, we'll wait for the verdict of the court.
You'll wait for the verdict of the court, and when you get a verdict from the court, you will appeal to a higher court, and then you will appeal to a higher court, and you will keep this going on for many, many years, so that none of us can ever have the truth, like Mr. Manu was saying. I'm going to give Mr. Bala Subramaniam, who's sitting next to you, an opportunity to respond to this. Mr. Subramaniam, Dr. Subramaniam, I apologize. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very easy answer to say that in politics, cases get built up, political vendettas exist. But let's just look at the serious offences. And I want to say all parties. I'm not the advocate for any single party. I'm an advocate for clean politics, for good governance, and for good electoral systems. BJP, 26% of the candidates have serious criminal offences against them. Congress, 15%, JDS, 12%, Aam Aadmi Party, which are actually fought on the plank of clean politics, has got 6% of their candidates having serious criminal charges against them. And what do we mean by serious? So I think this has to be understood first. We mean serious are offences which, if punished, if convicted by court of law, has a minimum sentence of 5 years. We mean serious when they are actually convicted for Section 171E for bribery. We mean serious when they've actually broken the laws of the Representation of People's Act, when they've actually had case against Prevention of Corruption Act, when they've had cases of assault, murder, kidnap, rape, and none of this can be simply conjured up, none of this can be simple political vendetta. I can understand riots, I can understand when you go protest, when the police file a case against you, but let's only talk of serious cases. Every single party has got this problem, and if ADR has been constantly asking and requesting these parties, if you have the courage, publish a list of guidelines on which you actually give tickets to your candidates. Can any single party in this country today come up and tell us these are the guidelines, like they declare a manifesto? Can they come up and declare a guidelines for identifying candidates and for giving them the tickets? Can they actually change the narrative from just caste, all the money that they're going to spend and all the criminality that they're involved in, to just clean politics? If they can do that, that will be courageous, that will be the beginning of change. But the bigger worrisome thing I would like to point out,
yes, and going by what you're saying, yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead,
the
please.
criminalization of politics, but it's the... Yeah, my concern is also another thing in the entire electoral system, like traveling around the field in Karnataka. A very disturbing trend that I'm seeing is, it is no longer does criminalization, or no longer does this kind of expenditures on elections ever trouble party. So we keep bringing out this report. The resonance is mostly in the media and some amount of intellectual people who talk about this. But the common man today, if you go into the communities, especially into rural Karnataka, everybody is only looking at how much money can I get. So the electorate have become corrupt, and nobody wants to talk about it. It is not just the political parties. We need to be very worried. Democracy is facing a real threat. The electorate are now saying, one party just gave me 2,000. Why is other party giving me 2,500, not giving me 2,500 rupees? So if you get into Mysore, astronomical sums are being spoken. I come from Mysore, and sums ranging between 3,000 to 20,000 per vote. Now we have found new ways and new innovative methods of corrupting the electorate, and the electorate has found new methods of asking for money now. So I think there's a big danger here. It's not just political parties, it is not just candidates, it's also the electorate who are very, very willing and okay with selling their votes. And that's something we need to be really concerned about.
There's something horribly corrupt here. Let me bring in the Congress spokesperson, A. Ahmed, advocate. This is good that they have sent an advocate to defend their candidates. Mr. Ahmed, there is one Mr. Rudrapar Lamani, very interesting individual, 4 serious cases of IPC, including 1 assault, criminal force to a woman with the intent of outraging her modesty, and attempt to murder. Quite an illustrious individual. Can you please explain to me why he has received a ticket from your party?
No, that may be an individual issue. Now, as if now it is under investigation, this is one part. As Mr. Balasubramaniam just spoke about, the entire prospect of the democratic setup and the process which is going through in our country as if now. Now, we must address to the very core issue, why the criminalization and the corruption in various forms have taken place. This is the core issue which has to be addressed. In regard to the criminalization and criminal cases pending against the candidates, be they represent any parties, now as because they are in the public life, there may be number of cases which may be the false cases. There may be some cases which may be required a proper investigation and it has to be tried in the court of law. This is one part. Now, basically the very interesting point is that we must address to the very essence of democratic setup in our country, where the voter franchisee, they vote on when they tend to vote on the basis of caste, creed, religion and the money, then the next automatic step is that it will lead to the criminalization of the politics. Now, this is the issue which has been faced by all the political parties.
So explain this to me. So it's not possible. So it's not possible for you as a party to say we will not give tickets to someone with serious cases against them that have been charge sheeted, or at least where the court has filed the charge sheet. Is that not a stand your party can take?
No, please let me be very honest. No, not about my party or any party. Let me be very honest. When we got the independence, it was noted that it was criticized that the voters to whom we are will be the part of the democratic setup or the illiterate person. That was the...
Oh, how dare you. No. I'm sorry. Mr. Ahmed, do not blame our democratic process and the level of literacy on your corruptibility. The fact that political parties are fielding corrupt people has nothing to do with the fact that there are a certain number of illiterate people in this country. That's completely unfair. Take responsibility for the decisions you're making. You want to take responsibility? You want to take responsibility? I will tell you. There is one individual in the Indian National Congress called Mahesh Kumatali, one section IPC serious, related to word, gesture, act insulted to outrage the modesty of a woman. There is another one called Shiva Shankarappa. Are you aware of him? One charge related to voluntarily causing hurt by dangerous weapons and means. One charge related to attempt to murder. Two charges related to intentional insult with the intent to provoke and breach of peace. Now you want to blame this on the level of literacy in the state of Karnataka? You want to say the system is bad and you can't help yourself, and that's why you have to field criminals.
No, please. No, please, you are taken in a wrong understanding. My saying is that whatever the alleged act of the criminal act of the peoples or the individual act of the candidates, maybe the individual act of the candidates, for that they have been booked for it, and the due process of law will follow it, and if they have been held guilty, they will be punished for it.
So, okay, so tell me something.
There is no as such immunity for those
Mr. Ahmed, do you believe that the candidate, the chief ministerial candidate of the BJP, Mr. Yediyurappa, is in any way suspect of corruption?
No, it is everybody known. See,
so when it suits your party, you go around saying that Mr. Yediyurappa went to jail for corruption. When it doesn't suit your party, in the cases that I just called out, you said, no, we should wait until the guilty verdict. We should wait until the court gives the verdict. So this is all suiting your party, right? So you will talk about the Reddy brothers, you will talk about Mr. Yediyurappa when it suits you. When it doesn't suit you, you want to wait for a guilty verdict. Is that not true?
No. My thing is that
I want to...
See, the criminal allegations, please let me complete. The criminal allegations made against the candidate, what you have mentioned is the individual incidents against any particular persons. Okay, for that they have been charged with. The investigations may be on. If they are found guilty, they will be charge sheeted, and the due process of law will follow it. This is one part.
So you are saying Mr. Yediyurappa is innocent until proven guilty, and it is unfair to call him corrupt. That's what you're saying, effectively.
No. But see, the difference is that
There's no difference.
What kind of criminal cases have been pending against criminal?
So attempt to murder, you consider attempt to murder as a lighter case?
Can I interfere?
Yeah,
Can I
I'm
interfere?
opening this up to the panel.
I want
Go
to
ahead.
interfere, my learned friend from the Congress.
No, 1 minute. My
I want to interfere. My Congress counterpart
my humble submission
is a
is
learned
that
friend of mine.
if there is an allegation, of the attempt to murder against a particular person, that has to be proved before the court of law.
All allegations have to be proved before the court of law. Mr. Ahmed, I'm sorry you've been caught on the back foot here, because your party's entire campaign has been based on the fact that you believe that Yediyurappa is guilty of some charge or the other. It has not been proven, but you have fielded your own candidates. You have fielded your own candidates with charges against them. Now explain yourself. Mr. Manan, I'm going to go over.
I want to interfere. The Karnataka Congress has deliberately
You hardly have a foot to
involved.
stand on to interfere, Mr. Yashas of the BJP. Your candidates have even worse track records, so you hardly have a leg to stand on at this point. Mr. Manan, I'm going to come to you.
No.
This is what political parties do. They argue based on
My
convenience.
Congress counterpart, the Karnataka Congress has deliberately been accusing B.S. Yediyurappa ji as he is a jailbird. They are targeting. I want to ask them, the Rahul Gandhi was also accused of a rape charges of Sukanya Devi, the Supreme Court squad.
No. What is there?
Can we call him a rapist? He is out on a bail on the National Award case. The whole Congress is involved in the financial fraud. The case is in the Supreme Court.
Say no. What?
Can we call the
See,
Congress
you people
party?
does not know the very meaning of the definition of fraud. Very meaning of definition of fraud. No, nobody is targeting. See, he has.
All right, let me bring in the rest of my panelists at this point. Rifat Javed, go ahead, please. Rifat Javed.
Party leaders.
Just responding to the BJP representative, I mean, while I agree that yes, not every criminal cases are of serious nature, there are a lot of time these politicians, they have cases of unlawful assembly, trespassing, those are not serious. But when the cases are about outraging the modesty of women, when the cases are about siphoning of money worth 16,000 rupees crore, which is what we are dealing with the Reddy brothers, when it's about money laundering, they are bloody serious cases. And let me just correct him. In Reddy brothers cases, only last week, Supreme Court, the case is so serious, the Supreme Court rejected his plea. He wanted to be allowed to go and enter Bellary to campaign, and Supreme Court says absolutely not. That's how serious it is. When he got the bail in 2015, one of the precondition was that he will not enter Bellary. Now look how he has camped outside Bellary. It's not a rocket, it's not a secret, everybody knows that. He's splashing crores of rupees every day to run the campaign of his brother Somasekhar Reddy and his nephew.
We don't have any.
Well, and by the way, I haven't finished. Come on, show some decency. Let me just finish it, Baba.
Our state in charge,
Hello, let me just finish it.
No, one second. The politicians have, one second. To the politicians, I've given you both enough time to defend your parties. Now you have to listen to the other members of the panel. I gave you both enough time to defend your parties. Rifat, please finish, and then I'll bring in the rest of my panelists.
And Janardhan Reddy, right now as we speak, Faye, he has his camp, inside his posh the farmhouse outside Bellary, and is flashing money to carry out the campaign of his brother and nephew. Now what is happening? These people will get elected. Look, if they're spending 10 crore rupees on the elections and they will win, do you think they're doing a charity? Absolutely not. They are going to get multiple times of the money they've spent when they actually come to power, when they get elected. So we are in fact breeding, we are encouraging the corruption out here, and who else have shared the stage with them? Yediyurappa, okay, I agree with you, the BJP spokesperson, Yediyurappa has been acquitted. But Yediyurappa has absolutely no qualms in sharing the stage with the Reddy brothers. The Prime Minister himself had no qualms in sharing the stage with Reddy brothers. What message are we sending? Therefore, if the opposition accuses you of, when you say na khaunga na khane dunga and you have this, and opposition accuses you of serious contradiction, then there's some merit in their allegations.
I must point out that both parties here are equally guilty of this. Srinath on the phone line from Bangalore. Srinath, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm from Bangalore. I just wanted to know, like, with so many tainted netas, whom do I go and vote? I really feel helpless, and I think this is the first time that we are seeing so many tainted netas in all the main parties. I really don't know whom to
Who
go
to
to
vote
vote.
for?
And we
Well,
were
you know, it's not all bad, Srinath. We're not all bad. There's still a lot of honest-ish politicians available. I'm going to go to Dr. Balasubramaniam. Dr. Balasubramaniam, tell us this. First of all, this is not worse than it was
I'm
in
going to
previous
respond.
years.
Yeah.
Yes, it
First-
was always this bad.
Yeah, first I'm going to respond to this question. I'm going to respond to Srinath's question first. Whom do I vote for? I think it's a very difficult choice, but choice has to be made. We have to rescue democracy. We have to rescue democracy from our political systems. We have to rescue democracy from ourselves. And if we don't vote, we are actually failing ourselves. So simple thing. From ADR, after all this analysis, it's not just reports that we publish. If you, from whichever constituency you come from, any voter in Karnataka has to just send us an SMS to 56070, and you are just saying my Neta space your PIN code. And we send you the information of all the candidates who are contesting from your constituency, and you can actually analyze and make an informed choice. You can look at what is the educational qualification, what is their assets base, what is their criminal background. We give you all the information, then you take an informed choice, a choice you must make. And the other thing I would like to tell you is, just because everybody is not black out there. There are also good people trying to get into the system, and we have to recognize that. But not voting is going to get the system to this kind of a bad system to win. So there is nota. Now, whatever the value of nota might be, it's a message. Let's look at Gujarat. Nearly 12 constituencies, the number of nota votes was higher than the victory margin. Now that sends out a signal to our politicians that if I don't listen to the electorate, I'm going to be punished in some way or the other. So there is nota. But what is more troubling for democracy, apart from the criminalization, we need to analyze this too, is 93% of the people whom BJP has given tickets to are crorpatis. 94% of Congress are crorpatis. 77% of JDS are crorpatis. 33% of AAP are crorpatis. 52% of JDU are crorpatis. Not just that, the three top assets, high assets, 1,000 crores or nearly 1,000 crores, all three are from the Indian National Congress. The top 10 income tax returns submitted by these people. We have to really be concerned. 6 are from the Congress, 4 from the JDS. And we have to talk about all these patterns too. And we have to recognize 12% of them have not submitted a PAN card. And these are all issues we have to talk. 53% have got educational qualifications between 5th standard and 12th standard. So they are going to take on the responsibility of creating legislations, designing development interventions, actually going out there and taking important decisions like electing the president, getting the Rajya Sabha members elected, voting on the budget. Now, what kind of competence, what kind of public policy knowledge are we going to send these people out there to actually deal for us? So these are very important questions that we can't forget in the narrative of democracy. It's not just criminalization that is worrisome, it's all this put together, and that dangerous trend in Karnataka is what we need to really talk about as a package of what problems are.
Absolutely. Let me bring in Mr. K.K. Manan. Mr. Manan, I'm just going to continue to read this because this is all available on the ADR website. S.A. Ramadas from the BJP. Total cases 3, 2 serious, other IPC 3. 1 charge related to attempt to murder, 1 charge of criminal intimidation. Basanagar Patil, BJP, 3 charges, criminal intimidation, 2 charges of cheating, dishonesty, 2 charges of forgery, 2 charges of attempt to murder. Umanatha Kotian of the BJP, 2 charges of attempting to commit offences punishable with imprisonment of life, 2 charges of criminal intimidation, 1 charge related to impersonating a public servant, 1 charge related to attempt to murder, 1 charge related to kidnapping. To put people like this, even at half a chance, in the Legislative Assembly and put them in charge of making laws, Mr. Maran, how scary is that? How serious are these charges?
These are very serious charges. Attempt to murder, forgery. I say wherever the moral turpitude is involved of any candidate or any person, those persons should not be given the ticket by any of the party, whether it is the BJP, Congress or JDS or any regional party in this country. Fact is that we people, I am coming on the same point, that they will distribute and they will give the ticket to a person who can win the election. They are not concerned with their principles. Now principles have gone somewhere else. Now their concern is to win the election by hook and crook, and we were talking that 8-10 crore rupees in this Vidhan Sabha. Ma'am, I think it is wrong. It is wrong. People are spending more than 50 crore rupees. In Karnataka, what I'm getting the reports from there, reading the newspapers, having phones from the friends, money is flowing like a water there. And from where this money has come, again I'm coming. Let the electoral, let the voters should decide it, whether they will sell their vote only for one day or for 5 years. We are also responsible for this. If we are going to elect those people, we should ask ourselves first. Number two, whoever the spokesman of BJP, Congress, JDS, whichever the party is, they will not give the answer straight because it is their compulsion, because they are not here who have distributed the tickets. Tickets have been given by the state party leadership, national party leadership, so they will have to accept it and they have to defend them. Well, case will be decided by the court, this and that, investigation is going on. Why they have given a ticket to a person whose moral turpitude is involved?
Yes.
1, 2, kidnapping, not a serious charge. Attempt to murder is not a serious charge. Forgery,
I want to intervene.
Documents, meaning by minimum sentence. Sentence is 10 years, life, and attempt to murder. It's not a small case. It's a very serious charge. The question is that they will again, I will tell you time and again that they will give the ticket to those people who can win the election. They are not concerned with the society.
Yes.
They are concerned with the majority in the Vidhan Sabha today. They are not concerned with you, with me, or with the society. Let them go to the, in Punjabi we can, let the people go to the bhaad. Mare, chale. We are concerned only that how the person can win, and we will give the ticket to a person who can win the election by hook or crook, money power, muscle power, every power they will use it.
You know, I want to, Mr. Ahmed wants to intervene. Mr. Ahmed, Mr. Shivshankar Appa of the Indian National Congress, 11 cases against, 11 cases. Are you telling me all 11 cases are some sort of political vendetta? Can he not find the person who's filing fake cases against him? One charge related to voluntary causing hurt using dangerous weapons, one charge related to attempt to murder, 2 charges of insult with the intent to provoke the breach of peace. Shall I read the other colleagues of yours? Shall I read out all of those charges? Or you want to defend?
No, please.
No, please.
No, please. Let me it is not about defending or not. Let me be very frank in making a statement that, see, if we take it in other way round, if the false cases have been filed or charged by the political opponent to settle the scores of the opponents, if the criteria is that if any person who is being charged with a complaint is been barred from contesting an election, is it, can't it be this thing, resigning him from his constitutional right?
I have a
After 5 to 10 years, if the cases have been, if he has been acquitted from the cases for which if he charged.
So you're talking about Mr. Yediyurappa?
Political future. Now, not Yediyurappa. See, we must understand in the context. Now the criminal cases, criminal cases have been filed against political opponents to settle the cases. There are so many cases in which politicians have been acquitted. Apart from the political lineage, I want to this issue to be discussed.
Mr. Ahmed, you are running dangerously close to sounding like you're defending Mr. Yediyurappa at this point. I'm going to take this over to Brinda Adige. What's your solution? We're arguing for the constitutional right of politicians to run for elections in spite of the cases against them. What is your response, Brinda?
Now, see, there are...
First and foremost, I think we the citizens need to seriously push for the amendment in the People's Representation Act that anybody, even if they have a charge sheet that is filed on them, the party should not field. I'm asking all the political party spokesperson over here, if I had a charge sheet, if I had some kind of a case on me of murder, of corruption, will I get employment in a school, in a factory, or in your office? Or will you tell
won't
me,
get
come back
IAS
after
or
5
IPS.
years? If you're acquitted, we will still have the job for you. Will you give me the job? Okay, forget it, not your office. I would like to come and work in your home as a domestic worker or as your car driver. But I have a attempt to murder. I have outraging modesty against a woman. I also have criminal intimidation against me. Will you employ me? When you will not employ me, how dare political parties field people and expect the citizens of this nation to vote you into power and make laws for us? And we are talking of violence on children, rape on children in schools. And for that itself, we are asking that you vet every staff and every employee who is coming into that school. Isn't this emboldenedness that if I come into power, I will automatically, very conveniently, have all cases against me absolved? It is taken away, it's gone. We've seen it in all the other states, what elected representatives have done to cases that have been filed on them. That's exactly what's going to happen here, which means we citizens vote you into power and we become gulams.
Absolutely. And, I want to bring in
The
Mr.
thing is
Manan.
that,
Yes. What is your justification? What is your justification? I also want to point out, we had a panel in the city of Bangalore this weekend in which I brought up to the BJP, since you've taken up the mic, Mr. Yashas, you can also answer this question. I brought up to the BJP representative that you have only fielded 4 female candidates out of 220. 4 female candidates. You couldn't find any other more capable women in Karnataka. You could only find 4. And his answer was, how else will we win the elections? We need to win the elections. So criminals, you will bring up...
So you're not serious about the women's reservation
No,
bill?
no, of course not. Of course not. Mr. Yashas, you're not serious. You have absolutely no interest whatsoever. All you care about, like Mr. Manan said, is filling the Vidhan Sabha.
No. See, basically, Bharatiya Janata Party is the only party which is working on the ideology, which has an ideology. Congress is basically is
But
not a
you're
party
not
of
answering my
ideology.
question.
It was,
Why have you
if
only
we go back
fielded
to the
4
history, it was
women?
a congregation
No,
of
no, answer
you
my
are bothered
question.
about Congress.
Have to
Why you are
use
bothered
only
about
Congress.
We have
Nothing.
fielded
You don't have any
15 candidates.
other agenda.
In future days, we are making.
You don't have anything. We have fielded
identified
15
the
women
4
candidates.
capable
15, please.
women in this.
Mr. Ahmed, 15 out of 218 is not something
in
to
future,
brag about. That's
there
a
will be
race to the bottom.
more number of women candidates
No,
from
it
Bharatiya
is
Janata
not, but
Party,
compared to
because
BJP, we
Bharatiya
have-
Janata Party
we
will
have
field
made a
more
good
candidates in the coming
representation.
election.
I can't believe you guys are fighting over who is
We
better.
talk about the present
Representation
election.
For 30 years, the women's reservation bill has languished.
See, present election, upon the winnability, we have given to 4 candidates.
Upon
In
the
further,
winnability.
also will
So tell me something, Mr. Yashas, tell me something.
Yeah.
Mr.
Based on
Yashas,
every
Mr.
political
Yashas,
party,
you've
I want to
you
clarify,
found room
every
only for 3
political
women,
party finally
but you
thinks on
found
the
room for
winnability.
33%, 37% criminals. So is there a criminal reservation in your party? Do you reserve a certain number of tickets for criminals? Is that how it works?
See, I want to clarify, there is an unwritten law which the judiciary believes
Please
that
ask
even
about
if
the women's
hundreds
reservation
of
bill.
criminals escape, the one innocent should not be
Really?
convicted.
Is that
all
what
the cases are
you're
still
fighting?
in the-
No,
You want us,
no,
Mr.
you
Mr.
may
Manan,
not
way
much
of
bothered
fixing
about
no,
that.
I'm giving this to Mr. Manan. One second.
I'm
One
asking,
second. This is
who
this
is
is
the innocent?
complete. No.
If the
This is
candidate is an innocent,
Mr. Manan. What is this
tomorrow,
unwritten
if
law?
we deny him because of
Are you
this-
buying any of this, Mr. Manan?
case, what if he comes out of all this?
Absolutely.
I can't buy their arguments. I can't buy their arguments. You see, this is not the way to answer the queries. You say simply that being a spokesman, you have to say this. I'm asking only one question from you, gentlemen, whether from the Congress or BJP. Why you have not got the ticket? Have any case against you? You don't have money? You don't have brain? you don't have any vision, why you have not got the ticket?
See, I am not an aspirant for any constituency, and I am still a youngster, and in the further days the party will recognize, and you should not target, you should not tell about that thing. The party has rightly selected the winner, the good candidates only, and we are going to win this election.
I want to first point out, he said the party has rightly chosen winnable candidates. Winnability being the point. You want to answer that question, Mr. Ahmed? Why don't you have a ticket? Where did you fall short? Not enough criminal cases.
No, in regard, no, the thing is that I am finding a good friend in my co-panelist. I didn't know his name. I was not able to hear his name. The thing is that at most important as a party cadre, that to my party to be in the power, to serve the people, that is the utmost thing. Whether I get the ticket or not, it is not at all a relevant issue as if now. The time will decide whether I will be the probable candidate or not. That will the time and my party will decide. Now the issue is that about the practicality of the politics, as Mr. Balasubramanian has noted in the earlier occasion, that about the entire process of the electoral process as what we can term it as demoralized. Now, because of this demoralization, because of this electoral process, the lacuna in the electoral process, and to some extent the lacunas in the laws are leading to these kind of circumstances and occasion. Now we have to address in the future. Till 1970s and 80s, this was not the circumstance. Now we are facing, let us forget about I am representing a particular party. Now the entire political parties or the political fraternity are facing this kind of a situation, circumstance. Now we have to, as a true Indians, as a true responsible citizens, as we are the sovereign citizens, okay, we must address to this, and a constructive debate has to be.
Oh, how convenient, Mr. Ahmed, how convenient, Mr. Ahmed, that that political parties will continue to field criminals as candidates, and you pass the onus on to us as citizens to, one second. You pass the onus on to us as citizens to find a way around this. Now, you people want us to vote for you. You're using words like power. We are interested in being in power. Remember that you said power first, you said service next. Someone who comes in, and I have to wrap this up now, so I want to thank my panelists, but someone who comes in, and viewers, just think about this. If 95% of the candidates fielded by both these parties, the BJP and the Congress, are crorpatis, if more than a third are criminals, what does this mean? Are these people coming into power once they become Netas, once they become ministers, once they become MLAs, are they going to serve you selflessly? Is that the aim? Is that why they are spending crores and crores of rupees on the ground? We understand that money is being distributed at the rate of 6,000 rupees per vote in Karnataka right now. What are they investing all this money for? The crores and crores of rupees that's going in. What are they investing this money for? How much are they planning to recover after they come into power? And where does that leave you and me? It is a shocking number. Shocking number. And they seem like they absolutely don't care. And they've found the loophole in the system. And they're simply going to go ahead with it. There's nothing you and I can do or say to change this. That's what the Netas would like to believe. It's not true though. If we spend some time on websites like the ADR, go into your constituency, look at the candidates in your constituency. It's all there. How much money do they have? What are their qualifications? Which college did they go to? What have they done until now? Do you want to trust them or not? The information is all there. Take a look at it and vote wisely for the candidate in your constituency. Punish the ones who have criminal cases against them, especially the serious cases. Punish them. Send a clear message to these politicians that we're not falling for it anymore. You can't buy us. We're not impressed. We have to, like I keep saying, we have to be really tough bosses this time when we go in to review the last 5 years of office and decide if we want to fall for the pomp and splendor and the speeches and the talk about religion and the talk about caste, the talk about race and language, or we want to actually be able to see these numbers more clearly. People with serious cases against them, and we don't want to put these people in power because that will take us out of power for the next 5 years in the most horrible, horrible sense. This is how politicians become gundas and gundas become politicians. The only people who can stop it is you and me, and we must stop it this time. Thanks for watching.